to our Christmas series here on A Decorative Home. Today is about garland and decorating the top of our entertainment center for Christmas. I've got a couple things that I need to keep in mind as I'm decorating. The first being I need to make sure that my decorations don't block the TV, and the second is I have some speakers that I need to kind of work around. I have a whole bunch of garland to choose from laid out behind me on the floor. And then over on the coffee table there, I have some decorations that I can choose from. I purchased some battery fairy lights to go into the garland. I'm a little hesitant about the battery fairy lights. I've had battery lights, just not fairy lights, that I've used in the garland last year. And I went through a lot of batteries. I'm hoping it's just the brand of batteries that I had, because I don't have an available plug-in behind the entertainment center. So if I want lights, I have to use battery operated lights. So I'm going to give these fairy lights a try this year. So come along, let's go ahead and get started decorating our entertainment center for Christmas. This garland was left over from my fall decorations. I kept it out because I thought I might want to use it for my Christmas decorations, but I don't want this as the base, so I'm going to go ahead and take this off and set it aside. I have two things of evergreen garland here that I want to use. This one that I'm going to use as the base, I've already went ahead and kind of opened it up and laid it flat. Then I'll be able to put more on top and then kind of wrap this one around the other one. But first I want to make sure that my ends are both even on the sides of the entertainment center. So what I'm going to do is match up the ends of the garland and find the center of the garland. And there's the divider here, so I'm assuming this is the center of my entertainment center. So I'm gonna just lay that down. I'm not using anything to secure the garland to the entertainment center because I think there's enough room that it's just gonna go ahead and set, and I can bend the garland, the ends of the garland, to kind of brace it up against the entertainment center. So I'm just gonna step back and make sure that those are even, and it's not. Just kind of flatten that out, and then I'm gonna bend that down. Now this isn't going to be very fluffy on its own, so that's why I'm going to go ahead and add two. So I'm going to come in with the second garland, evergreen garland, and then just lay that right on top. Now I think, so before I add any more to this, I think now is the time that I'm going to go ahead and add a strand of my fairy lights. I do have two, but I only have the one open because it's pretty long, so I might be able to weave it in and out of this one, and then if there's enough I might be able to add it on top. If not, then I'll go ahead and bring in my second one. So I want to make sure that I hide my battery as well, but I want it available to turn it on. So I think what I'm going to do is turn it on, and it's blinking. I don't want it blinking. Okay, there, it's all steady now. So I'm going to put it at that end, and then I'm going to kind of come down just gonna lay this in the middle of the garland itself. Yeah, there's plenty of this to go a couple times. Okay, so I'm just going to leave the rest of it hang down because I'll be able to put it on after I do my next evergreen garland. So I'm going to put that on. Then I'm going to take the branches from the bottom evergreen and just kind of wrap it around, a couple of them around the top one. That way it will help secure it. And intertwine these together and then hold down the fairy lights as well. Now I'm going to go ahead and bring in the leftover fairy lights and bring it back up. I'm thinking I do really like the looks of the fairy light. They're nice and subtle. They shouldn't bother too much when we're watching TV. So I'm just kind of weaving the fairy lights in where there's an opening and then just kind of putting the branches down on top of it to hold them together. So one strand of fairy lights I was able to wrap into the garland 3 times. So I think that's pretty good. Well worth my money on that one. Now I want to add a little bit to this. So I think I've got a couple different garlands, pine garlands here. This one I believe I used on the kitchen table last year, or on the dining room table last year. It's kind of, well, it's got a little pine cone to it. So I'm going to go ahead and just add that right on top here. And again, I'm just going to secure it with the branches of the evergreen that's already down. Tuck the end in and use the branches to hold down this garland. So what I think I'm going to go ahead and do is I have a couple picks that I can add in. I have a couple of these big picks, pine picks with pine cones that I can add in. So I just bent the pick stem, and then I used that to kind of hook onto the top of the entertainment center, and then I used the branches of the garland to help secure it. I do have some floral wire if I need it, but I think everything is going to be secure the way it is. I stood back and I looked, and this side's a little bit lower than that side, and I think I like that side better, so I'm going to go ahead and rearrange this side a little bit. I am liking how this is looking so far. I'm trying to go for a more natural look on my garland. That's why I wasn't liking the other garlands. They just weren't giving me the look that I wanted this year. So now what I think I'm going to do is I've got a few other little things down here that I want to see if I like, just by kind of putting them in, and if I don't like them, then I'm going to put them aside. So I picked up these berry stems from our local Goodwill for a pretty good price, or pretty cheap price. Reasonable, that's the word. So I'm just going to kind of place them and see if I like them. So these do open up because they are on wire, and I think then I can spread them out and then weave in the garland. So I think I'm going to go ahead and add these. I'm just kind of like laying them down and tucking them in a little bit into the greens. I don't like them sticking up too much, so I like the looks of them more laying down, like it's all just kind of a cluster together. So that's what I'm doing right now. Okay, so I did get all the berry picks wove in. I just kind of laid them flat. Some of them are sticking up, some of them are kind of going every which way. After I added that, I thought that it was a little too dark, so I went back in with my second fairy lights. I just folded them in half and then laid them down and wove them back and forth throughout the garland, and it worked perfect. So now I'm just going to go ahead and see the other stuff that I have, what will work in it. I have that lamb's ear, but I don't think I'm going to do that. And I have some beads, but I don't think I want the beads either. I have some strands of dried orange slices, and I think that's going to work perfect. Okay, so I think I'm just going to kind of weave them back and forth a little bit until I get them the way that I want them. All the orange slices are added in now. I just did like I did with the other garlands. I just kind of laid it in and used the branches from the other garlands just to kind of weave it in and hold them down. Some of the orange slices are laying down, some are standing up. Since I made these orange slice strings, I was able to go ahead and adjust how far apart I wanted the orange slices. Some of them, this last string of orange slices, were a little bit too close together, which was an easy fix. Since they are dried, I was able to rip them in half, take a couple off, and then move the rest of them down on the string and created a little bit more room on my string. So I stepped back and I looked and I contemplated leaving it like this. So I like it is. Kind of the less is more concept again, but I also wanted my decorations up here. So I tried adding my decorations. These decorations just weren't going with the rest of my theme for this year. So I am gonna just leave this as it is, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and cut some berries off of a pick and add them in, and then add some pine cones, and I think I have some pods. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do that right now. So with the berries, I'm just gonna go ahead and lay them in every so often. Again, probably using the pine needles, the pine branches as a holder to kind of hold them down. I decided I'd go ahead and add in some cinnamon sticks. So I have 4 here, and I'm just going to put a few of them throughout the garland. Just kind of laying it down into the garland a little bit. And I notice I have my ends to the strings here. I just want to kind of tuck away. Overall, I'm really happy with how the garland turned out. I am slightly bummed that my decorations didn't work. I think because I was using the white decorations instead of more of a natural looking, but I don't have anything that would work, and I'm not going and buying anything. I'm done buying for the year. So I was trying to work with what I had. Those aren't going to work, so those are going to go ahead and get put back in storage for next year maybe, or in a couple years, who knows. But overall, this natural looking garland turned out good. I like how full it looks. It adds a little something to the entertainment center without overwhelming it. So yeah, if you liked my garland tutorial, It was supposed to be Garland and decorations, but we're just gonna go with Garland now, right? If you like that, be sure to hit that thumbs up button, and then don't forget to subscribe. We would love to have you as a subscriber to A Decorative Home